In this paper, we are going to discuss Infosys verbal paper test 8. The first question we have here is the company announced a bonus for its employees. The assumption one is the company is making profits. Assumption two is employees will be motivated by bonus. So in the given reasoning questions, we need to find out which is implicit, either one or two or both or neither both. The statement given here is the company announced a bonus for its employees. But the assumption here it is the company is making profits and employees will be motivated by bonus. So the given two assumption may be or may not be true, but in realistically there is no information given in the statement for the below two assumptions. So that is the reason because here nowhere it is mentioned the company is making profits, but nowhere it is mentioned in the statement that whether the company is making profits or not. So the assumption one is not implicitly stated at all. Similarly, employees will be motivated by bonus. So there is no information related to bonus as well in the given statement. So that is the reason neither one nor two is implicit. Next one, all artists are creative, some painters are artists. So here all artists are creative, some painters are artists. So when we say all artists are creative and some painters are artists, the conclusion here is some painters are creative. Some painters are creative. And the second conclusion is all painters are creative. So from the above statement, we can clearly understand when they say all artists are creative and some painters are artists, it means that some painters include artist in all artists, right? Because they mentioned some painters are artists. So we can consider some painters are also artists. So when some painters are artists, those painters are creative as well. So that is the reason option 1 follows. But whereas option 2, all painters are creative, that is not mentioned. They only mention all artists are creative. Oh, and some painters are artists, but they did not mention anywhere all painters are creative. So that is the reason only option 1 follows here. Next one, the library will remain open for the additional 2 hours every day. A notice states. So they mentioned the library will open on for additional 2 hours. What is the assumption one? The library users require more time to study. The library users require more time to study. Next one is the library has sufficient resources to accommodate the additional hours. The library has sufficient resources to accommodate the additional hours. So if we look at both the assumptions, the assumption is the library users require more times to study. But we do not have any information related to this particular assumption in the given statement because the given statement says only the library will remain open for additional 2 reasons, but we do not have any reason given in the statement. So we cannot assume when something is not given in the statement. So that means it is one is not implicit. The second one is the library has sufficient resources to accommodate the our additional hours. Still, this particular information is not at all stated in the given statement. So that is the reason neither one nor two is implicit. Next one, the team has completed their project successfully. The team has completed their project successfully. So here they are asking us to correct the sentence. The team has completed their project successfully. Whenever we are correcting sentence error correction, always observe whether there is a subject verb agreement or not. Here we have the subject is team. Team is a collective noun and has is the singular verb. So the team subject is singular, verb is singular. So the team has completed. This is correct. Their project. So when their project successfully. So the team has completed their project successfully. So there is which part of the sentence has error? The team has completed the project successfully. The team has sorry, the team has completed the project successfully. So here the team, as we discussed, the team is singular. The team is a collective noun, so we want to consider the subject as singular. So the verb is has, and here we are considering team as one. Okay, so that is the reason we have to say the team has completed its project successfully. So here it should be its. So that is the reason error is in option C. Okay. Next one, each of the students are required to submit their assignments. Okay. So here each of, whenever, if you remember, whenever we use each, every, anyone, no one, someone, anybody, all these are singular pronouns. So whenever we use singular pronouns, we have to use singular verb, that is each of the students is required to submit their assignment. So we already discussed whatever that comes next to the of, we usually don't consider it as a subject of the sentence. Here the subject is each. Each is a singular pronoun. So whenever we use singular pronoun, we have to use singular subject, that is each. So the answer is required. So option B is the answer. Next one, she do not know the answer to the question. So as we know, she is singular, always he or she, it, we have to use does not. So the error is in B. We have to use does not. Next one, he do not like apples. The same correction. He does not like apples. Remember, sometimes we say it in a flow. He don't drink milk, but it is grammatically incorrect. We always have to say Does not. He doesn't drink milk. He doesn't like apples. So this is the answer. Next one. The books was placed on the table. Again, the books is the subject here. So the plural verb. The books were placed on the table. Next one, direct to indirect speech. So the question is here. She said, "I am reading a novel." This is in direct speech. When we are converting from direct to indirect speech, you want to remember few things. The present tense has to be converted to past. Simple past will be converted to past perfect. So this is the basic understanding of uh, basic understanding when we are doing uh, from direct speech to indirect speech. So if you look at here, she said she is reading a novel. So here this is incorrect because whenever we are converting one direct to indirect speech, we need to use that. So that is the reason this particular option A is incorrect. Next one, she said that she was reading a novel. Yes. So here they used that when they are converting to indirect speech, and they also mentioned because they have used she as the sentence, I is converted to either he or she. So here she is the context, so they have used she. Next, present tense is converted to past. Am is converted from present tense to past tense, was reading a novel. So she said that she was reading a novel. So that is the reason B is correct. Other options, it is wrong because here in both the options it is mentioned present tense as present tense, but we have to convert present tense to past tense. So that is the reason option B is the answer. Next one, again we have one more question. Same thing, we need to use here they have used if instead of that. He asked. Again here if you observe, can you help me with this? So can should be converted to could when we are writing in indirect speech. Okay. Next thing, even when you are mentioning you, it should be converted to I. Okay. And this to that. So the appropriate option here is he asked if I could help him with that. Okay. So C is the answer. He asked if I, you is converted to I, can is converted to could help him with that. Okay, only one option we have, that is can is converted to could. Next one, they said we will attend the meeting. Again, will they have given will is converted to would. So just see which options have would. Only these two options have would. Okay. And next we have to see we is converted to they. They said that they would attend the meeting. So that is the reason B is the answer. Next one we have passage. Climate is one of the most pressing issues of our time. Rising temperatures, melting glaciers, and extreme weather events are evidence of its impact. Efforts to combat climate change include reducing greenhouse gas emissions, transitioning to renewable energy sources, and promoting sustainable practices. However, global cooperation and individual responsibility are essential to addressing this crisis effectively. What is the primary cause of climate change mentioned in the passage. So if you see here, rising temperatures, melting glaciers, and extreme evidence or extreme weather events are evidence of its impact. Efforts to combat climate change include reducing greenhouse gas emissions, transitioning to renewable energy sources, and promoting sustainable practices. So, from this particular line, we understand that reducing greenhouse gas emissions are is the one of the causes mentioned in the passage. So, that is the reason option B is the answer. Next one, what are the effects of climate change mentioned in the passage? So, what are the what are the effects mentioned here? So, the same here uh, include reduction of emission of greenhouse gases, weather events as evidence. Okay, promoting sustainable practices. Okay, so here if you look at first line, effects of climate change. Climate change is one of the pressing issues. Rising temperatures, melting glaciers, and extreme weather events are the evidence of impact. So this is the one of the reasons they have given. So what is that? Rising temperatures and extreme weather events. Okay. Melting glaciers is correct, but urban development is incorrect. So that is the reason we cannot choose option C. Only we can choose option B. Next one, climate. What is one solution to combat climate change mentioned in the passage? What is the one solution? It is mentioned. So efforts to combat climate change include reducing greenhouse gas emissions, transitioning to renewable energy sources, and promoting sustainable practices. So from this particular point, we can see reducing greenhouse gas emissions is the answer. They have mentioned here transitioning to renewable energy sources, but here it is mentioned as reducing renewable energy sources. So there is a difference between reducing renewable energy sources and transitioning to renewable energy sources. So this option is incorrect. Only option C is correct. Next one, what is essential for addressing climate change effectively? So if you look at last line, however, global cooperation and individual responsibility are essential to addressing the crisis effectively. So global cooperation and individual responsibility. So for our question number 15, option B is the answer. Next one, what does the term sustainable practices refer to the passage? So what do you mean by sustainable practices? Practices that reduce environmental impact. So this is the answer. Reduce practices that reduce environmental impact. Next one we have the word synonym prompt. Prompt is nothing but quick, right? So that is the reason answer C. So we say, right, looking for your prompt response. We write it at the end of the mail. What does it mean? Looking for the prompt response means looking for the quick response. Next one, what is the antonym for hinder? Hinder is to stop, right? To hinder means to slow down. So the opposite is expedite. Okay, expedite also means to speed up. Hinder means slow down. Expedite means speed up. So now you may have a uh, question, why not increase? Increase means something making it larger, okay, or bigger, or in that is the meaning of increase or adding up. But when it comes to slow down, the opposite would be expedite. That means to speed up. Now next one, correct the sentence, me and my friend and went to the market. So whenever you are using in the subject case, always you have to use I. You should never use me in the subject case. Only in the object case we use me. And whenever you are talking about two people, that is like third person and about yourself, always you have to talk about others first. That means you have to mention others first, then you have to mention yourself. So that is the reason my friend and I went to the market. Always you have to mention third person first and first person next. That means you have to mention about others first and yourself next. So that this is the order in English. What is the meaning of synonym for familiarize? Familiarize is acquaint. Okay. Familiarize means acquaint. What is the meaning of acquaint? To make someone familiar with something. That is the meaning of acquaint. Familiarize also means the same. Familiarize is like to acquaint or to become familiar with someone, right? Acquaint is also the same thing. So now we will see the grammar questions, English grammar test. The first blank we have here is this is English grammar test section 6. He was dashed to hear the good news. He was delighted to hear the good news because delighted is a verb, whereas other option delightful is a adjective. It is not appropriate here. We need to use verb. Delight is a noun, not appropriate. Delightful is a adverb. So all these three options are incorrect. Next one, they worked hard to dash the project on time. They worked hard to complete the project on time, right? Next one, she dashed a beautiful song at the concert. She sang. Okay, we have to use past tense here. So sing doesn't come because whenever we are using she, we have to use singular verb, that is sings. She sings. But sing is not a correct verb here. She singing, it doesn't come. We have to use helping verb. She is singing or something like that. She was sing. This is incorrect again. So the only correct option is she sang a beautiful song at the concert. Next one, the committee decided to dash the meeting to next week. The committee decided to reschedule the meeting. Always the meetings, when we talk about meetings, it is rescheduled because they have mentioned next week. That means meeting is not cancelled. So we have to say the meeting is rescheduled. Extended, we cannot say extended. Extended we use if the meeting is scheduled for 40 minutes, 30 minutes, and if we are extending it to 1 hour, then we can use meeting is extended from 30 minutes to 60 minutes. But here they changed the schedule itself, so that is the reason we have to mention reschedule. Next one, he was late because he missed the bus. He missed the bus. So this is the okay, we have come to the end of the paper. This is Infosys Verbal Test Paper 8. Thank you for listening.